We're utterly surrounded by sugary, refined carb foods and distractions that totally derail us off the path to healthy weight loss and building a strong body. So, on this episode, I'm giving you 3 tips to make healthy eating easier than eating chips, chocolate, or fast food, or giving up on whatever health plan that you're on right now. And it's literally easier than you think. What's up, my healthy friends? Welcome back to today's episode where we're talking conditions of success. And what do I mean by conditions of success? Well, basically, the idea is that we want to set up our environment and our life to be easy to succeed, easy to do well, easy to make the right choice. So, literally, we have to go out of our way to do the bad thing or the thing that's harmful or the thing that degrades our health or the thing that causes us problems, right? And often the reason that people find weight loss or health plans or recovery so difficult is because, quote unquote, the right thing to do is more effort and it's more challenging and it's got to do with all of these things that feel kind of uncomfortable and challenging and difficult. And so people don't do them because the easy option is the dopamine rich option, right? The food, the sugar, the movie, the binging, the porn, the doom scrolling, whatever it is, all of that addictive stuff that our brain and dopamine and serotonin just lap up because it's like, oh, give me more of that. That's really easy to do. It's at our fingertips, right? We've got phones, we've got screens, we've got all this stuff everywhere. And so it's really easy, especially when it comes to food. The easy option for most people is to just do that stuff that they've always done, which is why they find health so challenging. So the idea is here with a condition of success, we need to change that scenario in your life. So I've got 3 of them right here, 3 conditions of success that we can set up. We can set up these conditions in your life very easily. Not all of them might apply to you, but I want you to remember as we go through this as well, the quote from James Clear, who wrote Atomic Habits, fantastic book, recommend you read it. He said, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. And people forget this when they're not motivated. In the beginning of motivation, I'm going to lose this much weight. I'm going to get this strong. I'm going to run this marathon. I'm going to do this or whatever it is. We feel super motivated by our goal. But that really falls apart pretty quickly. It doesn't fall apart forever. What it does is it's a curve. It spikes in the beginning. And we're like, oh my God, motivation, let's go. I can be this person. I can do this thing. It's going to be fantastic. And very rapidly, usually with less than a week, usually in a couple of days, that spike totally tanks down to the bottom. And it's like, oh, this is hard and I haven't got the result yet. And so it's most common that tanking and that dropping of the spike, that's where we fall to the level of our systems. So the question is, what systems, what conditions do you have in place that are supporting transformation? Here's number 1 of 3. Don't have food that controls you, harms you, or subtracts from your health in the house. Yes, this will piss you off when you're looking for it. You'll be angry and annoyed that it's not right there and that you have to cook something or eat something healthy or eat leftovers in order to actually eat in that particular moment. But we're putting a barrier to entry here that's not hard and rigid. Sure, you've got full permission to get in the car or go for a walk and go to the supermarket or go and buy fast food or whatever you want to do. You've got full permission to do that all of the time. But if it requires effort and it's an annoying amount of effort and you have to go do stuff and spend money and all of that, it becomes harder to do the thing that you quote unquote really want to do and easier to do the right thing, the healthy thing, right? So if that food is not in the house, and that's definitely my preference, is that those foods are just not in the house, what I end up doing is I end up either cooking a proper meal, which usually is going to involve, a proportion of nutrition which fills me up and means I'm no longer looking for or craving anything, or the thing that I'm craving is at the other side of a heap of effort. And I don't want to do that. So I just go, oh, well, I just won't eat. Don't worry about it. I'll just have some sparkling water. So don't have food that controls you, harms you, or subtracts from your health in the house. And if you've got family members that are in the way of that and you're like, oh, it's pretty much impossible because I've got teenagers or I've got kids or, my husband. Firstly, we need to get that shit out of the house of everybody's lives, right? We want healthy kids that have got brains that actually work and don't line up to get their behavioral diagnosis, right? And equally, our partner, if our partner's not on board with our health stuff, that's fine. Good for him, good for her. But they need to be a part of putting that food somewhere where we don't know where it is, right? And again, we can create a condition of success here. If that food has to be in the house, from now on, it's in the garage, right? so that it's, again, annoying. You've got to go out there. It's kind of cold or it's really hot or you've got to go somewhere else, okay? That isn't your pantry. We need that stuff out of sight, out of mind, or at least out of your normal path throughout the kitchen at the very least, right? So don't have that food in the house. Number 2 condition of success is attend group fitness classes and intentionally get to know everybody that shows up. Why? Because social accountability is so important. And we want to get to know people in these environments, particularly the trainer or particularly the people that are regulars, so that when we're not there, there's a sense that we are missing out, that we're not showing up for our accountability or our social connection. And those people, eventually, as you get to know them, they'll start to notice when you haven't shown up. And they'll start reaching out and saying, "Hey, I notice you haven't been there for a couple of days," or "Is everything all good?" Or even better is that you'll have some kind of group chat where everyone's like, "See you in the morning," right? So group and social accountability is really important. That's why my group programs work. That's why group programs of all nature have lots of really positive benefits, because we are pack animals. We are tribe animals. We don't want to feel alone in the journey. We want to be witnessed. We want to be seen, and we want to be with people that get our struggles. So attending group fitness classes intentionally is really important, and intentionally getting to know everyone. We want to build those social connections. Plus, your life might be so busy and overwhelming that you have very little social connection. So if we can double up health and wellness with social connection and tick 2 boxes at once every day, incredible. This is good. This is good for the soul. It's food for the body and for the soul, right? And number 3, come on down, is make breakfast the most wholesome meal of the day. Whether you have breakfast at 7 a.m. or you have breakfast at midday, make sure the breakfast that you eat is the most wholesome meal of the day, because, and this is such an easy hack, if you eat correctly for breakfast, which, caveat, is not cereals and is not Wheat Bix and is not cornflakes and is not toast, none of that shit qualifies as breakfast, right? None of that is a healthy breakfast. So you need to make breakfast the most wholesome meal of the day, right? We want protein in there, ideally animal protein, meat, chicken, steak. And yes, it's weird in the beginning. It's just because you haven't done it before. So your palate hasn't adjusted. It will adjust, I guarantee it. It could be bacon and eggs. And sure, some people will say, "Maddie, bacon isn't that healthy." But if you're eating Wheat Bix or cornflakes or cereals for breakfast, in this conversation, bacon is basically a health food, right? In every nature of the word. And P.S., I still eat bacon. So conversation for another day on pork and bacon. But point is, we want good amount of protein in breakfast. We don't want to be doing high sugar. We don't want to be doing refined carbohydrates. So we don't want heaps of fruit. Sure, the odd person thrives on a little bit of fruit, but we don't want heaps of it. And we want good protein and we want good fats. Avocados, a lot of the fat's going to be found in the actual animal protein that I mentioned as well. And when it comes to carbohydrates, we want predominantly above ground carbohydrates. So vegetables are the things that we're looking at, right? Things that grow above the ground. Why is that? Because your cravings and your microbiome is then set up for the day, because you crave what you put in first. All humans are the same on this, right? Is that we crave, or we lean in the direction of craving, a macronutrient combination of what we put in first every day. So if we fuck up breakfast by putting shit in, we're basically trying to control an out of control car/blood sugar for the rest of that day. And then if we repeat that every single day, we end up, it's just this giant snowball that gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So make breakfast the most important meal of the day, or the most wholesome, rather. It is important because if you get it right, you've set things up well. If you get it wrong, it was important in the sense that that was the situation that caused you to binge eat all day, right? So we want protein, we want fat, and for those that want to add carbohydrates, we want above ground carbohydrates. And sure, a piece of toast as part of that is not a problem. Eggs on toast, that's not the worst thing ever, right? So go ahead and do that. But remember, if you're going to chuck in refined grains or carbohydrates or anything like that, we want them to be a very small part of the meal. And if bread is a part of the conversation at all, has to be sourdough, non-negotiable, okay? So make breakfast the most wholesome meal of the day. These are my 3 conditions of success. And in the future, I'll bring you many more, but we'll just go over them again. 1, don't have food in the house that controls you, harms you, or subtracts from your health. 2, attend group fitness classes and intentionally get to know everybody. And 3, make breakfast the most wholesome meal of the day. Trust me, things are going to get better if you're able to do these 3 things. And I've got heaps more that will slowly and progressively, 1 tweak a week, change your life. So conditions of success for the win. I'll see you on the next episode.